Are you more confident in Dak Prescott or Justin Herbert this weekend?
I, Marcellus, am more confident in Justin Herbert by a long stretch. And it has less to do with a referendum on the two quarterbacks, Dak versus Justin, as it does what they face. I believe in Dak. I just don't believe in what Dak has to overcome in order to get a victory this weekend. So I look at it, look, all the challenges. Number one, you mentioned it, the four missing Cowboys. You're missing their two starting defensive ends. You're playing on the road. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. It's also, I said, it's not a complete referendum on the two quarterbacks. But it's a bit of a referendum on the two quarterbacks because there just seems to be something about Justin Herbert. I saw the piece that Manuel Acho did the other day about quarterbacks who just find a way to win. And he didn't mention Justin Herbert, and I felt that he should have because Herbert is putting himself in that camp. He had a mixed bag against the Washington football team. But again, as you mentioned, drove them for the winning TD and then had a clock-killing drive in order to get the win. Meanwhile, I've got Dak Prescott, who is playing well beyond what we could have expected, considering he missed most of training camp against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champions, and yet it wasn't enough to win. So I look at the two and what they face and the roles that they are on respectively, and I have to go with Justin Herbert.
I am with you right there because it is Justin Herbert. And everyone knows my affinity for Dak Prescott. He's on my Mount Rushmore in terms of protected players. You can never say anything bad about him. So I won't say anything bad about Dak Prescott. I'm going to say some good stuff about Justin Herbert. Good Lord. Woo, Justin Herbert, sneaky 5-game winning streak going back to last year. Justin Herbert, sneaky in those 5 games, 71% completion percentage, 105 passer rating, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sneaky excellent is Justin Herbert. Now, Dak Prescott, I have to use you against you, Dak. This is not me talking bad about you. It's just showing you that you are not perfect. Dak has lost 12 of his last 19 games, y'all. Despite his passing yards going up, despite him playing great football at times. But it's not just about Dak Prescott showing out. It's about the Dallas Cowboys showing up, and that's the problem. In the last 54 drives Dak Prescott has had as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, he's had the ball only twice leading in those drives. Dak Prescott is on a team that is not supporting his excellence. Where if you look at Justin Herbert, he's on a team that is emerging to be excellent. Dark horse to make the playoffs and dark horse as a Super Bowl contender. Justin Herbert continues to play the position the way he's playing the position. He is going to be one of the elite quarterbacks in our game. But I'm going to just simplify this. This is about who has the greater capacity to play the position. As much as I love you, Dak, you do have a lower ceiling than Justin Herbert. And it's starting to show, and it's starting to show fast. Now, if the team can stay healthy around the Chargers like they have so far, the Chargers are going to be something to reckon with. And Dallas is already dealing with the injury bug. So for that reason, on top of the fact that Dak of late has not been supported fully, it's Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you guys having the love fest for Justin Herbert. He was the offensive rookie of the year, and he deserves to have his props. However, I feel like you're not giving Dak Prescott the flowers that he so deserves. When I think about Dak Prescott coming off a 400-yard game, he's had 8 400-yard games since in his first 6 seasons, only behind Dan Marino, who had 9. And so when we're talking about Dak Prescott, we need to begin to get comfortable and talk about Dak Prescott in the conversation of legends. Because what he's doing, he's putting up legendary numbers doing it when he doesn't have everything around him. And so when we talk about Dak Prescott not being afforded all the things that other quarterbacks are, well, I think this situation is right because we always judge quarterbacks on their ability to put the offense on their back. But Dak Prescott has shown that he can put it on their back. So if this game turns out to be a shootout, which it may have to be for the Dallas Cowboys to win, I feel fully confident that Dak Prescott can go to the shootout and win it. Last week, he went to the shootout with Tom Brady and fared well. This week, if he has to go against Justin Herbert, he'll fare well as well.
Bucky, I love the way you walked that around there.
Yeah.
He was in a shootout with Tom Brady, and he fared well. He fared well. He was there. He did his job.
Yeah.
He didn't win. And ultimately, the numbers and what Dak Prescott is doing is very impressive. But I can't help but feel like they're a bit of empty calories because are they resulting in wins? And you can look at it and say, well, that's because he's not getting enough help. The defense is good at whatever it might be. If those numbers aren't resulting in victories, and if I look at the last five games that Justin Herbert has played, Marcellus mentioned it, 5-game winning streak. Last 5 games that I've seen with Dak Prescott, he's only beaten 2 teams, the Falcons and the Giants, and he's lost the other 3. And those numbers have all been sensational. But ultimately, if they don't translate into wins, then I'm not buying it. And I can say that I have more confidence in Justin Herbert because whatever the numbers are going to be, I feel as if they're going to produce the ultimate result, which is a win. And the big picture is, Dallas Cowboys feel cursed. I mean, we got an offensive lineman now having a heat stroke on Thursday. It seems like every day something happens that is sending them in the wrong direction. And Dak Prescott can be as optimistic as he wants, and he can be the one shining thing that is sticking around this year. But with everything else that's going on with the Dallas Cowboys, it just doesn't feel like they're giving him the opportunity to win with everything that he's doing.
I didn't expect some pushback from Bucky. I know Bucky and I, we're bosom buddies in terms of our love for Dak Prescott. But with that pushback, you just unactivated me. Now I'm going to push back at you. And it's going to sound like some slander at Dak Prescott, which I said I wasn't going to do. But damn it, Slick, you started something. I got to finish with you, big dog. You talked about the last 5 games for Dak Prescott. Forget all that. Let's talk about the last 3 games in focus because he's lost those last 3 games. 57 passing attempts, 58, 472 passing yards, 502, 403. You would think Dak Prescott done did something. Yeah, he lost, and he lost. All of those empty calorie games. It ain't adding up, big dog. Say what you want. You know Dak has a losing record against AFC opponents. Do you know that Dak has lost his last 4 starts versus AFC opponents? Do you know that Dak has lost 6 of his last 7 games against AFC opponents? Do you know that early Dak, owned playing in the NFC East as well as just playing against opponents? He had winning records. Dak has never had a losing record when healthy. However, Dak at home versus Dak on the road. Let's talk about this because I'm seeing Dak's name by Andy Dalton's and Sam Darnold as the lowest win percentage on the road in the last 2 years. What is going on? Andy Dalton got 4 wins, 14 losses. That ain't good. Sam Darnold sitting there saying, I got you, 5-14. That ain't good, but a little better. And here go Dak Prescott with his winning self. 6-13? You get him away from Jerry's world and he don't know what world he's in? It's empty calories, Bucky. You're going to have to defend yourself because now we're starting to shoot at your boy Dak.
I'm really surprised because they got 2 basketball heads over here talking about empty calories and the like. And yet we're judging quarterbacks off a stat. Quarterback wins in a team sport where we have an offense, defense, and special teams. We're blaming Dak Prescott for everything that happens to the Cowboys. It is almost as if when we look at basketball, we don't like Russell Westbrook's triple doubles because they're empty calories because he's basically just taking it off the rim. So I need to understand what are we doing when it comes to evaluating players? Are we judging them based on their team success or their individual success? Because I feel like the goalposts are always moving when we have this conversation. But for Dak Prescott, here's what I'm going to say. Dak Prescott and the number of pass attempts, that actually doesn't play to this favor. I am not advocating that Dak Prescott has to have 50 or more pass attempts because it actually works against what I think their formula for success is. Running the football, shrinking the game, time of possession being over 32 minutes so the defense doesn't have to face Justin Herbert all the time. The Dallas Cowboys have a clear path to victory, and that clear path is playing keep away on offense. So I don't care if Dak passes for 100, 400. What I do know is at the end of the day, they need 30-plus minutes of time of possession. He needs to be efficient. That is the only way the Cowboys can win. And so he may have to do a little more because of all these empty calorie arguments that you guys are talking about. I can't defend him on that because he's so good putting up numbers. I can't defend that.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Bucky, don't accuse me of something I didn't do. I'm not blaming Dak Prescott. I'm not blaming Dak Prescott. All I'm saying is Dak Prescott hasn't been good enough to overcome everything that the Cowboys are asking him to do. And you giving me numbers that are impressive and legendary still doesn't get me to the finish line.
Slick, let's do it. Bucky, just the beginning of your argument, you had me, because it's like, why are we going to penalize Dak for putting up numbers? That's what you're supposed to do. Everyone put up their numbers when they're one-on-one matchups, and then it adds up. I give you that. But then at the end, I don't know if you ran out of steam or you're just like, look, they ain't listening no more, so let me just say this. You said they need a balanced attack. They're going to go out there and run the ball or control the clock. Run the ball. Zeke has been in decline since Zeke got to Dallas, bruh. It's crazy. And now we're seeing Zeke go out there and have 11 rushing attempts. And they are saying during the work week, you know what? Sometimes you can have a good game without having stats to support it. Zeke, what? Where? Huh? Make it make sense, Bucky, because if Dak has the stats, but they're empty, but then Zeke doesn't have the stats, but he says they're full, I don't know what's going on in Dallas. Talk to me, bruh.
Okay, well, here's what I'll tell you. You have an offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, a former quarterback who loves to travel by air. He doesn't want to run the ball. And so he came out and had a quote where he said, all yards matter. It doesn't matter if they're rushing, if they're passing, it's just about the yards. And I was like, no, because the running game does show a level of physicality and toughness, something that football is predicated on. You also need to run the ball to control the clock and all those things. And so what you have, I believe, is you have a play caller who doesn't necessarily fully understand how they should play winning football. The Cowboys haven't played winning football for a while. What the Cowboys have to do is understand where their strengths lie. Their strengths lie with this offense, but the offense has to also play defense, meaning they have to get out in front, they have to play from ahead, they have to control the ball, and all of those things, because the defense is not quite up to snuff. And so if this becomes a shootout where it's back and forth, a little ping-pong football, it's not one that plays in the favor, even though I'm saying Dak Prescott is going to do his thing because he always does his thing. He averages. He's going to put up 400 yards because lately that's what he does. It just hasn't resulted in the way that we would want it to result as a Dak Prescott fan.
Okay, Bucky, so help me out here. I've got no pass rush against Justin Herbert. I've got an offensive coordinator that isn't on the same page with my quarterback, or at least the way that I need to play. And I'm supposed to have confidence in Dak Prescott because...
Best players make it right. The best players will always make it right. It's a player's game. So we're going to put it on the best player. And so I'm going to say that the best player in this game is going to be Dak Prescott. He's proven it time and time again. And so on Monday, when I come back, you guys can apologize for me for all of the slander that you've thrown at me and number 4 for this effort. But Dak Prescott...
Okay, wait a minute.
Apologize.
He's the best player in the game, but in order for the Cowboys to win, they need to balance it out and not put too much on his plate. Tell me if I'm getting this right, because it kind of sounds contradictory.
No, what I'm saying is in order to keep Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense on the sideline, they need to balance it out with some runs so the clock will run more often. Now, they can throw it all over the yard, however, incomplete. Don't run the clock. We need the clock to run to shrink the game. Fewer total possessions so that the Cowboys can win. Because ultimately, based on what you guys are saying, it doesn't matter what Dak Prescott does. As long as the Cowboys win, he's been the hero because you value quarterback wins over individual stats.
Okay. Throw in the towel, Bucky. Throw in the damn towel, Bucky. We ain't gonna let you die up here. This is just the A block, man. We got a lot of show to go. It's starting to sound like one of my favorite players, Carmelo Anthony, when I heard some of his teammates talk about his Denver days. And they used to say, man, we didn't win the game. And Carmelo would sit there kind of with a little smirk, they said, because he got his 30. Now, if you're gonna tell me that the Dak Prescott is gonna get his stats, but the Cowboys ain't gonna win the game, I don't know if I want to see that same smirk out of another one of my favorite players.